If you're a coach, you've got a teeny weeny following, you might be thinking, I'm battling uphill right now. All I need is a whopper of an email list, a huge audience, and everything's going to be easier. The bad news is that's not the case. In fact, all of your problems just become way more difficult unless you can actually convert your existing small audience. And I'm joined today by my friend and guest on the episode today, who's going to show you exactly how she's helping brand new coaches and aspiring coaches to take small followings and turn them into multiple six-figure businesses. You're not going to want to miss this. Happy Email Marketing Wednesday. Hope you're having a fantastic week. I just realized that only about a quarter of you who tune into the show every week are actually subscribed to the show, which means if you're not subscribed to the show, it means you're not going to really see the episodes when I release them, which would be a crying shame. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And that means I know that you're enjoying this content. I'll keep making more of it. And for you, it means more of these awesome pieces of content are going to show up in your feed. Now, the other week, I produced a brand new mini course called Email Marketing Sorted. It's a 5-part mini course where I show you the 3 psychological techniques that I added into my email marketing that took one of my offers from $27,000 to over $500,000. Different emails, but the same audience, the same offer. Everything was the same, but I just added these 3 psychological techniques. So if you want to go and grab the whole thing, I made it free for you just for tuning into the show. Go to emailmarketingsorted.com and it's yours for free. Now, in case you haven't already followed the person who's joining me on the show today, Brooke Adams is someone I've been watching pop up in my newsfeed for a while, sharing her own controversial thoughts on the world of coaching, how most of it's bullshit, but actually there's a different way of doing these things, which is just really refreshing, really exciting. So when we ended up getting connected and chatting about our philosophies around coaching, I was like, do you want to come and talk about this stuff on the show? She's a mindset coach for new and aspiring coaches. And what's really interesting is she actually hit her first 6 figures in sales for her coaching business before she even had 2,000 followers. We often all think we need to have massive followings, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 followers. Brooke says absolutely not. So Brooke, hello, welcome to the show.
Hello, I'm very excited to be here.
It's great to see you. So let's get straight into it. So you're a coach, you're helping other coaches who want to become coaches. And there is this big thing that we all think, oh, I need to grow my Instagram. Of course, we want to still be growing it. But you had less than 2,000 followers on your Instagram before you hit 6 figures. What made you think, oh, I can just make 6 figures even though I haven't got a massive following?
Honestly, nothing made me think that. I was just as surprised as everyone else, I think, to be honest, the first time I did this, to be truthfully honest. So when I came into coaching, I wasn't business coaching. I knew nothing that I know now. I came into this space in a very different niche and was just kind of like most people figuring it out as I went along. And when I hit my first 6-figure year and I hadn't even had, 2,000 followers on the clock, I was like, okay, I've got something here. I have figured something out. So I then made it my mission to figure out how I did it, which is how I've become well known now for helping those kind of brand new ground level 0 coaches actually create something they can rely on for an income in a really short space of time with a really short audience. So small audience. So it kind of all happened by luck, but lucky it was because we have figured a lot of things out that are going to be super impactful. If you're listening and you have a decent audience but you want it to convert better, and if you're listening you got a teeny tiny audience, it's going to be a game changer.
And when we say teeny tiny, how small's too small?
That's a really good question. So the thing I say with audiences is it's not the size that counts, right? It is what?
I'm not doing the joke. Step away from the joke.
Okay. Now, lads, I'm giving this advice for business. You can generalize that information wherever you want to generalize it, but I'm speaking strictly with social media audiences today. I'm talking like small. I actually have a client, a private client in my world right now. She makes about 10K a week. She has 180 Facebook friends, 180.
And this is on Facebook, small, which apparently is dead. And she's only, and you need a massive audience, but she's got 180. What niche is this person in?
So she is in the neurodivergent entrepreneur space. So she helps entrepreneurs who know that they're neurodivergent, not like all of us are anyway, but she helps the ones that are aware with their business.
Wow. Okay. So that's pretty small. It's a pretty intimate audience. Okay. And would you say until somebody has, say, maybe that 100, 150 followers on their given channel, whichever channel it is, could be Facebook, could be Instagram like you, could be whatever. Would you say there is a critical mass minimum of like, say, 100 or something like that, where your effort, if you're a brand new coach, because the reason I asked you on, by the way, is because a lot of the content I do is about people who are already experienced coaches, but I've had a lot of messages from people saying, I'm brand new. Have you got something for me? And I'm like, well, not yet, but I know somebody who can really help us, hence inviting you. If you're still at that early phase of you've got 22 followers and 21 of them are different accounts that your mum owns, would you say the early stages do need to be about getting that initial critical mass of, say, 100 people?
That's a really, really good question. And I think the way you worded that there was perfect. Like when you said you've got 22 followers and 21 of them are your mum, with different accounts. That's the part that matters. I don't think there is a magical figure that you can go, okay, now I'm ready. Now I have enough. In truthful honesty, the bigger your audience gets, so long as it's still accurate, the better you will find these strategies work, because what that audience size is giving you is more authority, is more trust with your audience, basically, and more eyes on your stuff. So naturally, that's going to create better results. But the key word there is the accuracy. So if you have 22 followers and 21 of them are your mum, then yes, we need to do a bit more work on that audience. But if you have 22 followers and all 22 of them are people who might buy from you, if you're selling a coaching program for $1,000, you got 22 grand there, right? If you do this right now, you'll know the nature of conversion is not that lovely, unfortunately, but you have something to work with.
Interesting. And okay, so it's about getting those initial people, and you talked about accuracy, because one of the things I know you're really big on is, and as we all should be, is it has to be the right people. And one of the things that I think is really interesting about building your audience in an email platform rather than on, say, here on YouTube or on Instagram or something, is nobody knows how many subscribers you've got on your email list. So it doesn't have the sort of negative social proof. Like, it's amazing. You see somebody who comes onto Instagram and they're like, I'm this amazing coach. And at some point, everyone starts, right? Everyone starts. There is a start. I got my first subscriber to the YouTube channel. At some point, I got my first email subscriber, as did you, with all these things. But when you launch on Instagram saying, I'm the big who's what's it, and the person, and you look at them and they go, but you've got eight followers. There's a real discrepancy there. The really beautiful thing about building your audience on email is nobody knows. Not that you should pretend it's bigger than it is. It's just that they can't see whether it's big or small, which is quite interesting. Okay, so one of the things I really think is interesting is this whole right people thing.
Yes.
And I think we've all heard you've got to have the right people. Obviously, if you teach women how to do something and you've got an audience full of men, that's not going to work. So it does have to be the right people. But I'd love to hear what you mean, because you've got some really interesting thoughts on what you mean by the right people.
Yeah, for sure. I think something that's worth kind of acknowledging here, and I think something you've picked up on in my approach, kind of is I'm very transparent and very kind of straight to the point. There'll be a combination of people listening to this, some listening who resonate with my clients who feel like they're very, very new to this space, and that's why the audience is small. Some more established that have been doing this for a while, but maybe focusing on the mailing list and building the email list and maybe neglected the social media front a little bit. There's going to be a combination, but everything that I teach is designed to work from level 0 very, very fast. And the reason for that is because it's designed to create credibility fast. So when you come into this space, if you have a small audience on social media, you are going to look like a small fish, right? That's kind of what you've been tapping into. That's the negative social proof element. It doesn't actually matter how good you are at what you do. People will look at your 15 followers and go, well, she's a nobody, right? And he's a nobody. And that's the thing, right? And if you are looking like a small fish, you are going to drown in the ocean. You are going to have to shout so loud for anyone to hear you. There is so much stuff going on. If we put you in the teeniest, tiniest pond we could possibly find, you suddenly look like a massive fish, right? And that's where a lot of people have this conversation around niching. And that's not really something I want to drill down too much today, because honestly, it's not the most exciting conversation. But we all know we need a niche, right? We need a person to help, not just everyone. But it's about finding that small pond that makes you look huge, so that you don't need the big, massive audience to tell people, oh, they know their stuff, right? If Beyonce wanted to become a life coach tomorrow, she wouldn't need a freaking niche, right? She wouldn't. She could put anything she wants in her bio. She'd be fully booked within 10 minutes because she's Beyonce. But if you're not Beyonce, right, that's such a random example.
And by the way, I'm not, just in case anyone wasn't clear. I'm not Beyonce.
What?
Just
I'm
sorry,
leaving.
mate. Yeah.
I'm leaving. No. Yeah, if you're not Beyonce, and most of us unfortunately aren't, you're going to need a bit more work to do, okay, to create that credibility. Because when you're new, you're going to have a smaller audience. And if you're here, you're listening to this, it's probably because you've got a smaller audience. So we need to create that credibility in a different way. So this isn't just about having a niche. It's about speaking to a person who is so specific that you can speak to that person at a level that no one else can. Right? You are going to have, from the eyes of the consumer, you're going to have competition. They can choose you, or they can choose this coach, or they can choose that coach, or they can choose that coach. And when you get so accurate and so specific that you become the only person talking to that person in the way that you are, you eliminate competition. You eliminate the other options. You eliminate the other choice. That's when you become what I call the go-to. You're the obvious option for your people. And at that point, they don't care how many followers you have, because you are creating that connection within them in a way that no one else can. Is that making sense?
It is. So, and what you've sort of suggested here, that's not just picking who. So yes, the marketing 101 is you can help people with a problem. You go find the people with the problem. Great. That's niching. It's who it is and all that sort of good stuff. Niching is who. What you talk about is something which goes to that next step. Because you need, before you can go to that next step, you need to know who you're going to help, because you need to know what your skills are and all that sort of good stuff. Yeah, obvious stuff. Fine. Okay. So what are the things that you encourage people to start doing to really become I call it creating an environment of zero competition? It's becoming the one person. How do we do that?
What a brilliant question. So this is where I refer back to my delicacy Marmite. Again, go into Marmite mode. So if anyone is listening to this who isn't in the UK, probably going to get thoroughly confused.
No, I think Marmite's international. I think Marmite's made it around the world.
I don't know. I was on, you'd think, I was on a podcast not that long ago that was based in the States, and she's like, I have to stop you. What's Marmite?
Really? I think in Australia they have Vegemite, which an Australian listener once sent me, and it's fucking horrible as well, by the way. You probably like it because you're a Marmite lover, but yeah.
I am a Marmite lover, right? I am a Marmite lover, but the company Marmite, if you look them up, is an absolute masterclass in branding, okay? What they have done is actually very, very clever. They have very boldly repelled the wrong people, okay? And in doing so, they've made the right ones obsessively loyal. Like, I can't think of a single other product that I will argue with someone about beyond Marmite. Like, before we got on this show, Kennedy was like, I hate Marmite, and I was like, you're objectively wrong. If no one's ever had it, think like petrol but on bread. Like that's the Marmite vibe. But that
you're really selling it. You should be in the marketing department for Marmite. It's like petrol on bread.
I'm a marketer, by the way. Buy my stuff. Right, but we want to kind of get into that zone where you create that fierce loyalty, okay? And that is, as you said, it's more about, I help this person with this problem, and it's going beyond what you actually do, and it's about tapping into why you do it and how you do it in a way that makes you unique. So something I teach my clients is your paying customers, your super hot prospects, they care about what you deliver. They care about your programs. They care about what's in it. They care about the results that it gets, all of that stuff, because they're at that point of the journey. Your audience doesn't give a fuck at this point in time, truly. Like, your new audience, they need a reason to pay attention, though. They haven't stumbled upon this and within 2 seconds decided they want to learn all about your program. They need some sort of magnetism here, something that they can get behind, so they don't care what you do with your clients, right? So this is where the ideology piece comes into it, right? The bit that you stand for, the bit that you want people to know. And it's about getting that across without worrying about the people who won't like it, right? Because just like Marmite showed, when you repel the wrong people, you magnetize the right people. So for example, I have a niche, right? It's new coaches. It's pretty specific already. But when you actually get into the deeper psychographics and the deeper kind of ideologies and belief systems of my ideal client, they're very similar to mine. I believe in manifestation. I believe in the law of attraction. I don't believe your first year as an entrepreneur should feel easy. Just going to say it. I don't think it should feel easy. If it feels easy, you're probably not doing enough, to be honest, is my opinion. I think it gets to become easy, but nothing great ever starts easy. Okay. So that's a real perspective that a lot of people hate, in all honesty. You have your very, in her kimono in Bali style kind of life coach who would despise the way that I work and the way that I teach. It doesn't ignore energetics, but it has a focus on strategy, because you need to do stuff to create results, right? And that's my belief. I also have a very alternative political view, right? I don't believe that we were put here to just work a job that we hate and then die. That's a huge part of why I do what I do. It's about creating actual freedom and getting out of a system that none of us agreed to opt into, right? And by getting all of this across, not just focusing, oh, you're a coach. It's you're a coach who works in this way, who operates in this way, who believes in these things. The audience have something they can buy into before they care about buying into me. They'll follow along because they're like, hell yeah, she said it, right? You got to work hard for what you want. Or absolutely, this society is fucked. Like we got to find a different way. And it gives them a reason to pay attention before they're ever considering working with me. And that's about knowing why you do what you do, the beliefs that underpin it, your point of view, your perspectives, your opinion on it, and not hiding away, right?
I really like
coaches, this. We have so many options, but people choose me because they gel with how I do it.
Yeah, and it's really nice because I think we live in an interesting time right now. I'm going to start sounding like an old man who needs a pipe in a second, but we live in a time where people are, comedians get cancelled, coaches get cancelled because of saying stuff, and so there's all this holding back of what people think, because they're like, but then you've also got a bunch of people who are saying you need to show up as authentic. And unfortunately, what I've discovered and learned firsthand is the first people to complain are the people who are usually the ones who say, I wish you're authentic. What they actually mean is, I want you to be authentic, but I want you to be exactly how I want you to be. Which is interesting, right? So it's an interesting place. But what's interesting you're saying is, okay, share what you stand for. So let's go beyond the features of your program and the benefits and the outcomes, the transformation, and let's have something run in parallel, which is your beliefs. So you might have some kind of political belief. You might have a religious or a spiritual belief. You might have a belief around a certain type of situation, or I can't think of any more examples, but you might have we all have beliefs around how the world should work, how life and death works, and how things be prioritized, and how money should work, and all these things. What you're saying is a great way of attracting your crowd is to say, these are the things I believe, and kind of be brave and realize that for some people that means they're gonna leave, and some people are gonna come in. And I think the most powerful part of this, and the reason that while for many of us we go, oh, I've thought of that before, or I've sort of sensed that I should maybe do that, is I think the reason to do that now is because with so much AI generated content on social and in email, AI doesn't have an opinion. It just has the ability to assemble words and communicate things. Whereas if you're the person who can show up in written form or in video form or whatever format and say, I help you to do this, but also I believe this. So I love your stance on, you know what? This is really fucking hard. This is really hard. Doing this is really, really hard. Do you know what that is? It's refreshing. Because what it means is for everybody else who is sick and tired of being told, I can make you an overnight success as a coach, we're sick and freaking tired of being told that. So when someone like you pops up and says, you know what, it's going to be really hard, but I'm going to give you the steps and I'm going to give you the processes, I'm going to give you the support, and I'm going to walk with you over the hot coals, I'm going to walk through the wall with you, I'm going to do it with you, it becomes a different message. And that just happens to be your particular one. And every single one of us should be thinking, what are my things? And that's really, really quite interesting.
Yeah, I agree. It is this case of someone told me this. I picked this up somewhere and I can't remember. So credit wherever this credit is due, but it puts it in perspective really well. And what they said, and it just kind of stuck with me, is if you want to be liked, you have to be willing to be disliked. They come with each other. If you want people to like you, you have to be prepared for people to dislike you. If you want people to love you, you have to be prepared for people to hate you, right? And if you want people to be obsessed with you, you have to be prepared for people to fucking despise you, right? They come with each other. You can't have one without the other because they'll balance each other out. But I think if anyone listening to this has ever bonded with someone over a mutual enemy, right? More common in the womanhood. Yeah, he's a prick. I hate him too, right? We are now best friends for life. Best friends for life, okay? And it is not about...
The common enemy is one of the most effective bonding experiences and marketing devices we can use. 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Right. A lot of you probably would have used strategies like this in your mailing list, right? And inside, the things that you're sending to nurture your leads. It's about getting that across in this space as well, because if you've got a small audience, for this to work, that audience doesn't just need to like you. They need to be obsession point, right? They're buying everything and they're all buying it because you've magnetized them to that point. So that's how you get around the volume, the numbers game is the quality of those small numbers that you have, because you have created such a level of magnetism, and that only happens when you repel, right? At the same time.
It's almost like your approach is about going to the mass market of everybody and basically standing on top of a really tall tower and say, this is what I believe. If that's for you, I'm going to be over there in a minute.
Yeah.
I'll see you there. And then even if it's 20 people, 100 people, it doesn't matter. They all come and join you and they go, thank God someone's like aligned with me. And that means they tune everything else out because they're like, nobody got me. Nobody understood me until this point.
Yeah. And suddenly there is no competition. And that's what happens here. They're not weighing you up against Mr. Polished Coach with 150,000 followers and Mrs. Perfect over there who's been doing this and speaking on stages for 20 years. They don't care anymore because the way that you do it is a way that has activated them in something that they have never experienced. And suddenly the follower count is absolutely irrelevant.
And what's really interesting is the opposite is also true, of course, which is for the person who has the lots of, speaking on stages or a huge following or has made $1 gazillion and exited 32 businesses, also will find a bunch of people who go, that's who I want to learn from at this point in my journey or for this particular topic, which is interesting. Okay, let's get practical then. So we've made some decisions around the things we're going to share, and it might be a political point of view, it might be a spiritual point of view, it's some kind of perspective. This is what I stand for, this is what I believe, and I want to be surrounded by more people like this. I think the first thing is to make the decisions around those things, and of course there are some, you don't have to share it all. Like you might have some things that you think, do you know what it is? That might be a bit too far for the public to know about. I'm going to keep that one just for when I'm really drunk with friends. That's okay too, but you've decided what you're going to share. Cool. How do you share with your clients that they can actually communicate these things? I know you do a lot of stuff on Instagram. You do a lot of stuff with nurturing and sales conversations. Like you're a badass when it comes to sales. How do you start communicating those things?
That's a really good question. And there's some really simple but really effective things you can do here with the branding. So first thing I would say is, like you said, you need to kind of know what this is that you want to convey. So once you've got that down and we're thinking, okay, now I want to start getting this across so that it's calling in and attracting the right person and building that small but very accurate audience. Simple things you can do. So I'm a big fan of the identity statement that helps you sum it up. So something that I have done with clients, and I was speaking about this, before we hit record, some of the examples I've used is actually taking what is the boring, diluted down version that everyone is doing and turning it into the hyper magnetized version specifically for your people. So as an example, a client comes to me, she helps midlife women navigate divorces with really difficult ex-husbands, so high conflict situations, and she was a lawyer, so she has a program. This is how you divorce them, and this is how you handle the proceedings, and da 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 da. But speaking to her fire for this, her drive for this, her why for this was after the experience that she had, and she ended up losing everything because the man just knew how to better navigate this situation, and so on and so forth. So she educated herself. So this was about helping women win. Right. That's what this was about. That's what she cared about. And we actually rebranded her coaching title into Your Ex-Husband's Worst Nightmare. Now, I recommend you keep an element of tangibility to this because that on its own says nothing. Okay. So we coupled the two: divorce navigation coach and Your Ex-Husband's Worst Nightmare. Straight away. We don't have to read anything. We know exactly what side of the fence she's on. Right? We know exactly who she's rooting for. We know exactly what she's trying to achieve. We can get a sense of the vibe and the attitude that is going to come across right away. We don't even need to touch any of the other content.
The attitude is the really important thing, because what she doesn't want to do is attract people who are in a nice, I'm going to say a nice divorce, as in it's a mutual, everyone's being respectful and being nice. That's not who she helps. Like if you're going through a divorce and it's actually very harmonious in a sort of, in as much as they can be, right? But you're like, you know what it is, we're going to be fair, we're going to split every 50-50, or, you made the decision and you're all happy. That's not who she helps. She helps these really antagonized, very, very charged situations. And that's why this whole idea of ex-husband's worst nightmare, it says something, doesn't it? It's like, it's how she's saying it, not just what she's saying.
Yeah, exactly. And likewise, I had a client, she helped female UX designers in their career, like get ahead, get promotions.
Okay.
But again, unpacking the why behind it, she cared a lot about helping women thrive in male-dominated industries. She cared a lot about that, and it wasn't coming across. Rebranded her into female success coach and patriarchal disruptor straight away. Right? Whether you're about it or not, you get the stance, you get what she's here to do and what she's trying to achieve and what she believes about why she is doing what she's doing. So you're not necessarily hit and follow because you're like, I want to buy her program. You're hit and follow because you're like, yes, bitch. That's what we're going to do. Right. And all of a sudden you don't just have a follower, you have what we might call a fan, right? Who is now going to turn into a lead over time.
This is cool because I think this is almost as well like a self-identity thing. Like we often talk about, like when someone follows that account, which is like the patriarch, I can't even say the word. That's how much of a man I am. I literally can't. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Coach me, please, coach. Patriarchal. Thank you. Patriarchal disruptor. I've lost my train of thought now because I'm an idiot. But yeah. So it really it tells us like where she's coming from, and it's a social signaling device in terms of psychologically speaking. That when you hit follow on that, you are like laying down the gauntlet on that and saying that's what I want. And it's like people want to be, if someone's in that situation, they want to be seen to be following that person. Like my friend Natalie, who founded Boss Babe, right? When people follow that account, they are making an identity claim of like, this is about being an absolute boss babe. That's what this is about. There's a guy called Steven who is married to my friend Marley, and he has a thing called the Capitalist Pig, which is his brand, and it's all about using capitalism for good. But like again, when somebody follows that account, it is a social signal of this is what I stand for, this is what I believe in, which allows you to grow your audience. And when you grow your audience, you have more people, and you can convert more, which is awesome.
It's very nice. Yeah, especially on social media. Unfortunately, it's not as kind to us as the mailing list. The amount of people that actually see your content is teeny tiny. So it's about making sure the people in there are right, the kind of fiercely loyal, fiercely obsessed ones.
Yeah, I love it. And this you have a whole process for how you then use this to nurture and, well, not necessarily nurture, but like I'm going to call it deepen a relationship really,
Yeah.
really quickly. How does
Hmm.
that work?
Yeah. So this is from that point. You got it all conveyed, right? You got your nice statement in your bio and all of that stuff. Very obvious who you're talking to. It's now about the messages you're putting across, right? So just like you would send into a mailing list, you're probably going to have some sort of nurturing sequence. You're going to tell them about your story, and you're going to tell them about what you offer and the kind of results that it gets people. And here's some free stuff. It's not a million miles away. It is just turbocharged, right? And this is what I say when we're dealing with smaller numbers. We kind of just got to do it a bit better to get more juice out of the squeeze that we have, because we don't have the freedom for as many to slip through the net, right? So yes, it's sharing value. Yes, it's giving free value, but it's coupling that up with the belief system that came with it, right? Why are you advising that, right? Beyond, oh, it's going to help you sign a client. Oh, it's going to help you win your legal case. Oh, it's going to, like, why? Why do you care? What's the bigger message behind it? What's the belief system that came with it that means you're teaching this? Okay, again, it's stuff that some people are going to read and go, no. And other people are going to go read and be like, she said it. It's the difference of opinions. It's the difference of point of views. Like, yes, share your story, share where you came from and all your relatable parts. Maybe not all of them, but most of them, right? But with it comes the point of view that you hold about that, the opinions that you hold about that. These are the bits that people leave out, and it is, yeah, it's the turbocharging element. It is the difference, I think, between someone that goes, oh, that's nice, and someone that goes, oh, I need more of that.
Right.
You know?
Because yeah, I resonate with that. And right now, when it comes to having this smaller audience, and again, we've sort of talked about quantifying what we mean by that, and that's whatever it needs, whatever it is. When it comes to smaller audience, what you've got the advantage of, if you've got the advantage of, I would call it doing unscalable things. They don't need to go through a complex many chat automation and da 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 da. What is once you've got your perfect audience, once you've got these people who buy into not just the outcome you get and the transformation you get, but also the how you do it, your belief systems, your point of view, the things you stand for, you've brought these people to you. Grand. What kind of call to actions are the kind of things that are working right now with these small audiences that will allow us to go, I've got a small group, the small, perfectly formed folks. What's the call to action that is best for us to now start enrolling people? What does that look like right now?
Oh, brilliant question. There's two that I find will work best in this sort of situation. So selling, right? If you want this to turn into sales, you are going to have to sell to your audience. Pretty simple thing, but worth reminding people of. You have to actually sell to these people in order to make sales. Something I found with the small audience, obviously we've turbocharged the trust here, right? But even still, no one wants to look like the first person to move. Okay. So something I found works very well at this point in time is actually direct links. This is probably gonna have to be in your stories more than anything else. I wouldn't recommend putting it on your feed. That's probably not going to work very well. But actually direct links where people can freely in their own time, without you knowing, they can actually go and explore the things that you are selling, right? And this is the nature of being newer in the space, or appearing newer or smaller in this space. That can just help people feel safer to actually take that next step rather than getting into the DMs with you. At the same time, what I find works the best is my personal favorite, the one I will do the most or recommend people do the most, is the keyword DM, right? That brings them into your DM. So if you want to learn more about this, DM me this word and I will send you the information and I will send you the link. The reason why I love that one is because you know who your leads are. Like, obviously, when you're doing email marketing, you can look in your dashboard who opened it, who clicked it, and you can move accordingly. On social media, we don't know who clicked the link and who went through and explored all of the stuff. But if they have to come into your DMs first, whether or not they do the thing, right, you've got the lead there that you can follow up with. So I'm a huge fan of that one. I would say mix it up a little bit. Different buyer types will respond better to different ones. But yeah, there's nothing miraculously different you need to do at this stage in time. Like, you need to sell. You need call to actions that generate inquiry. Obviously, freebies are always great. I'd recommend selling your actual programs as well. But I would mix it up a bit with giving people direct links and then also call to actions to keyword in the DMs.
And what's really nice about when you give somebody the exact keyword, rather than just going, hey, DM me if you're interested. The problem is people go, they click on your profile picture, then they click on the message, and then they start typing, hey, Brooke. Oh, no, that's too informal. Dear Brooke. No, that's too formal. Hi. Oh, fuck it. I'm not going to bother. Because they don't know what to say. Whereas if you're saying to somebody, just DM me the word banana, and I'll tell you about my new banana growing program, then you're going to know exactly, they just know what to do. Yeah, 100%, 100%. And once someone DMs you, what are you finding, again, for these newer coaches who are smaller following, newer programs, probably, the confidence levels are lower because you haven't proven to yourself that you can do this and repeatedly over and over and over again. That's going to come with time. Confidence comes with reps and knowledge, and reps is the thing we're looking for here. What is it that someone DMs you with the keyword, like start now or whatever, and what are you sending them to? Is it a fancy sales page? Is it a video? Is it a Google Doc? What are you finding works great at this level at the moment?
Oh, good question. So, see, it depends on the nature of the call to action, right? What action step did you tell people to take? But let's say if you're a new coach, chances are you've spoken about your one-to-one coaching program, right? Your core offer, whatever it is you have. And you've said, if you're interested in this, DM me this word. Now, something that works really well at this point is your traditional relationship building in sales. It's being able to position what you have as the thing that they actually want or the thing that they actually need. So for me, I call this checking alignment. You're checking alignment between what you have and if it's right for that person. So what I don't recommend is you go, here's the buy it button, right? Sometimes, yeah. So we're talking low ticket, mini ticket like things. Yeah, but most new coaches are selling a high ticket program or a course, right? To begin with. So I wouldn't be like, oh, here's a link to book in with me, just go. I would make sure that before that person is taking an action step, they know this is the best possible action step they can take. So what I mean is, for me, I often use the word ready, right? If you're ready, DM me the word ready. Ready, ready, ready. So we start and I'll say something like, I'm celebrating your readiness. I'm here for this, right? So that I can check this is the best next step for you. Tell me what's going on right now. Right? Like what's I'll normally say what's going on for you in business at the moment, right? Voice note me, give me the rambly deal. Where are you at? Make sure I've heard that right. So what is it you want, right? You can phrase this however you want, but understand where they are now, where they want to go. And if what you have bridges that gap, I call this permission-based selling. So I'd be like, cool, I'm hearing that you're here. You want to be here. I have a thing that I think can help you. Do you want to hear about it? Okay, here's the information. Does that sound good? Does that sound aligned to you? Yes, it does. Fantastic. Book a call. Right? So before they're taking that action step, they already know and understand this is the perfect next step for me. Okay. So this is really heightened kind of relationship building, not just with you, but with your offer itself.
And when you do this, you are taking them to book a sales call, yeah?
I often find is best at this point in time. If what we're selling is high ticket one-to-one, I mean, for me, I wouldn't ever enroll someone one-to-one without speaking to them anyway. I don't know if I want that person in my seat every week,
Yeah,
so
I'd
absolutely.
Recommend you want to make sure you don't find them to be a nightmare. This is awesome. I love it. I think there's for anybody who is like, got a small audience, what do I do with it? I think these ideas of really sharing what you stand for, not just the transformational outcomes that you get for people, and then communicating it and offering this sort of DM strategy, really simple to go implement, but really, 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 really powerful. Obviously, you've got whole programs and you help people implement this stuff. If people want to find out more about you, what you're doing, and take more steps with you, where should we be going to find out?
Come hang out with me on Instagram. Brooke Summer Adams is my handle. Brooke has an E on the end of it. So I would just look somewhere where you're watching this for the spelling of my name. And come find me on Instagram and we'll hang out there.
Sounds amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. Folks, go check out Brooke on Instagram. She puts some amazing content out there. If you like really well, beautifully put together content, I think you've probably got a photography background or something because her content always looks amazing as well. So if you want some inspiration for that, definitely go do that. And we'll be back next week. Thanks so much. I'll see you all later.